All right, guys, we're back. Another early access Supercoach video. This isn't the team, by the way. This is 2022 team. I have changed the team a little bit. Thought it would be a good idea to kind of give like a January update. I had this on the cards for a while, just not as much to talk about. Finally got some preseason notes. We'll go through those, and I'll show you the changes we've made to the team. So first I'll just bring up the team and I'll kind of go through, because a lot of these players I've just put in to talk about, notes and stuff like that for them. So as you can see, the defense has changed a little bit. By a little bit, one player left for two players in. Actually, I don't know if I had Jinby in defense, but whatever the case may be, rookies don't matter too much. Sinclair, still like him. I still think between Sinclair, Stewart and Doherty you'll have D1 of next year. I do like Dawson. It's just a matter of like, I like the other ones a bit more. So Sinclair I like because of his mix of athleticism. He's pretty good kick with the ball. He could take inset mark, which that's just, it's good points for Supercoach. Sicily I really like, but I'm not a fan of this price, just because I think Hawthorn are going to do pretty bad this year. Like, they've historically never done like terrible. Like, they will win a couple of games, but that team just looks super young, super all over the place. Got to wait and see what's going on down there in Hawksville. Stewart I do like, that's why I've kept him in. Same kind of thing, like intercepts, he gets a ton of the ball, just Geelong kind of play through him to get it out, which is good for Supercoach. It's great for Supercoach. If he didn't miss games last year and have the concussion game, I'm pretty sure he had a concussion, he'd be probably the number one priced defender. I'd say Sinclair had a better year overall. Sinclair really did play like the best defender last year, but yeah, Stewart would have probably been the highest scoring one, just because of how crazy Geelong goes through him. Have made a change here. So originally this was Dawson, and the thought process was I can drop Dawson and like mess around the team a little bit, because there's a couple of really good cheap options, I believe. So yeah, I just dropped him, put in two cheaper ones. So Dacos, who, I mean, I do think Collingwood aren't going to be as good this year. I think that's like general consensus, is they're not going to be that good as they were last year. I mean, it was a lot of like one score games and things like that. And if you're an American sports fan, you've just seen the Vikings. They're like, all season they had put up a good record because of one score games. They just came out the good side of them. But then once that happens and you're unlucky, it's going to happen at the worst time, and they lost in the playoffs to the Giants, who looked good. But I mean, we're not talking about the NFL here. I think that's kind of going to happen to Collingwood this year. They're going to believe that, like, if we go into the fourth, we can win it, and it's not going to happen every time this year. Last year was a very, very good run, but I don't think it's going to happen like that this year. But in saying that, I think Dacos is an absolute star. I think that he's very likely the best young player in the comp. Like, age to talent, he's the best there is. Like, it's what it is. But yeah, like, will they do as good? No, but he plays a good role for Supercoach. He can go into the midfield. I don't think they'd put him anywhere in the forwards, like tell him to move up that way. So he's not an amazing kick at goal. He's serviceable. Like, he's a Dacos, so he's serviceable. But like, I think that his best position is like halfback. Pushes up a little bit around stoppages, kind of like Jack Crisp, but maybe less mid-time than Crisp. I don't really want to see Dacos at a CBA. But I mean, if he was, maybe he can develop that. I mean, this second season, there's a lot of room for him to develop. And then next, we've got Elliot Yeo, which like begins going through all the notes. So in the West Coast scrimmage, they had Yo playing halfback, and kind of like exactly just what I was saying with Dacos. Halfback goes into the midfield, plays a bit of wing, comes back to the halfback. Probably the best similarity I can make is kind of how Jordan Dawson was playing during the middle part of the year. So Dawson was kind of playing all over the place. If you were watching Adelaide games, he'd start either on the wing and then drift back, or he'd start in the back line, drift forward, end up kicking a goal. Like, you know, there's the I think personally it was like kick it game winner of the year just because of the commentary. Dawson kicking the game winner against Port. He plays everywhere. I think that's what they're trying to get with Yo. The issue here is his durability, role, making sure that is actually what he's going to be playing. I mean, if he's just playing halfback, he's got Hearn back there who will kick it to him 9 times out of 10. Hearn's a good kick of the ball, even if he's a little bit older now. Yo's... take durability out of it. Yo's pretty athletic. He can go up, get the ball, can fight for it on the ground. Good tackler. Kind of has everything you want to see, but it's just durability. And where's he going to play? I think that for 337, it's a pretty good bargain. I mean, like, worst case scenario, right? So there's only one preseason game this year, which I've also got written down, which absolutely sucks for Supercoach. But it could be also, like, you know, silver lining in it. It means you're not, like, going to see something that you don't see. I mean, I don't know. No, you know what? Screw it. It's just bad. There's no silver lining here. For Supercoach anyway, for like real life, it's like, okay, less chance for a player to get injured, so it's better real life. But like in Supercoach, that just sucks because now you have to take like one game bets on players. Jinbi, so played well in the scrimmage. A lot of talk about him going in the midfield and, you know, just kind of playing around the field. I hope that doesn't mean he's going forward because West Coast midfield is pretty stacked at the moment. Dom Sheed has got a bit of an injury. I think it's an eye injury, or like an eye socket injury. I don't know if it was just a poke in the eye. Stupid Herald Sun lock off all their articles and I'm not paying for that. But he was holding his eye and I think he might have just been poked in the eye, to be honest. But if it's a bit longer than that, could see Jinbi taking his spot. Either way, I think Jinbi's playing round 1, so yeah, we're going to need rookies to play, and he does look skill. Like, he looks talented, he's a good player. Hopefully West Coast don't ruin him, but West Coast ain't winning that many games this year, let me just say that. Connor McKenna, he's been in since the beginning. He's just value for that price. So if we go to like 160k, alright, like, let's go. Yeah, whatever. We'll go there. Buzzlinger, maybe he plays, maybe not. Madden got in some games last year, but I don't think he's that good. They did have, I've got it written down here as well, Marcus Adams is out for 2023. He's got concussion issues and he's just kind of taken a year to step away from the game, get his mind, like, not mind right, but like actual like brain right. So, I mean, there's going to be an opening in defense. Madden, obviously I can't remember this rookie, how he played, but like, I don't think he was that good, and I don't think he fills that same position of Marcus Adams is a very good, like, almost lockdown defender for them. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to fill that role. What else we got here? There's just not a lot here. Like, I've seen talks about some of these guys playing. Fisher McCasey's actually retired from football. I just read that as I was starting this. I just saw the post. Will Gold doesn't actually exist, so he can't play. Darcy Wilmot could find a game. I think he is a bit more of a defending defender, so he could find a game. But yeah, like, these are rookies. For the same price, I'm just going to take McKenna, who, I mean, he should get game time, a reasonable amount of game time now because there's one less defender. We'll just see how it goes. Like, say he goes up to 300k. That's, yeah. What else were you gonna do? Pick a rookie that doesn't play. Chesser should play. Don't know. Not much came out about him, but yeah, he was supposedly meant to play last year. Did he actually play? No. I heard good things, but we'll see if he plays. And then it's just a placeholder. So midfield, it's changed a little bit. I've been convinced of a couple of things, right? So I wasn't huge on Hopper, but we'll go into that. Oliver hasn't moved. I think maybe there was like 5 seconds where I had Laird in, and then I was like, nah. Like, I like Laird. I think he's clear M1, right? But maybe not clear. Maybe I'll take that back. But he's very, very good. And, you know, if you were to put him in, you're fine. Like, you know, you're never going to have to touch his pick. He's durable enough for a 700k midfielder. His scoring is amazing. Like, I think he only had one game last year under 100. That was like his first game back or something like that. So he's always like a vice captain option. But I don't know. I just really like Oliver here as M1. I don't know what it is. It's only a 0.7 difference. So it's... Now I'm thinking, I've got... Nah, okay, I'm leaving Oliver in for now. I think Oliver will be in the final team as well. There's no way I can fit both in. If I could fit both in, there's no conversation here, but I can't fit both in. Next we've got Bont, who's kind of been added to the team recently. I can't remember if he was in the first time I opened this and made a team. I don't think he was. I've had Steele in for most of the time. The only reason I've taken Steele out is he was in a light training session at St Kilda's, kind of like, you know, run around. Yeah, I think he had like the concussion helmet on. I feel like I saw that picture. I can't really remember. Yeah, he was just training light, so I was like, maybe he's carrying a bit of an injury. If that's the case, I'd just pick him up like round 5 or something like that, right? Like maybe he drops a slight bit, 580k, and then I just pick him up. But if he's healthy, I do like Steele more than Bont. Bont does get Bont points. You know, for one touch, he gets more points than anyone else gets one touch. I mean, the system is, you know, X amount of points for this touch, but then Bont just ends up with more. I don't know how that works. I mean, that's coming from someone who has Bont in most of these years I've been playing. It just gets more points. I might have Steele in if he's healthy. I really do like Neil though, and I feel like these two I'm really missing out on. But we've got McRae, who's just super consistent, and I don't see him taking a step back just because there's more opening there now. So Dunkley's gone. The time that McRae would, I guess, usually spend on the bench taking a breath, he's going to be out in the field. I could see, like, McRae's always been good for time on ground, but I could see it going back up to, say, 2019, 2020 numbers, where, I mean, I think back then he was like a 120 average player. So yeah, I could see him making up 5 points now that Dunkley's gone. I could see that. But say I was to drop him, I can't get up to these two. I do like Mills, and I think Mills is pretty good, but it's just there's a huge talent, Supercoach talent discrepancy between Miller and Mills, and it's 20k. It's 4 points. Let's say 5 between them. It watching the game, it feels big. Like, it feels like a bit difference. But then in saying that, Mills can go for 200. I think he had a 190 last year, or 193. Obviously, I can't see it because apparently early access takes features away. But yeah, like, it's just a matter of who is the odd one out. Currently, it's Neil and Miller, which I'm not a fan of, but just having a look, right? So say I put Neil in, it gives me 600. I could do that. I'll think about it. But now I'll just leave it in. But I'm probably going to go with Bont and McRae or Steele and McRae. We'll see. Tom Green, I don't know if he was in it, but he's kind of just been locked in my team since I put him in. I think I put him in as soon as I finished recording. I chucked him in. I really like all the prospect of his scoring. So last year he actually had a pretty good year. It is, yeah, I was going to say it's like buried down here a little bit, but it's not that much. Did miss the ton, like in average, but he's very good. No Taranto. Cornelio's obviously going to take some of that away, like, but Cornelio can also play like half forward. It's not good, but like he can play it. No Taranto, no Hopper. I think Callum Ward is still going. Is he still playing? Yeah, he is. Yeah, I just like the prospect of Tom Green. I think that he's someone that could have a breakout this year. I mean, he's already kind of, last year was his breakout, but like he could really turn into one of these type of players up here. Kind of think what Brayshaw did last year. So Brayshaw was good the year before, but then last year was his breakout. You know, people really started paying attention to, hey, this guy's really scoring pretty good. I should trade him in. I think that's what's going to happen with him. Yeah, I don't mind the price. 530k. Better than everyone else at that price range. Like, I do like Bailey Smith, and I've had him in a bit, but I wasn't going 3 dogs, so. And then, like, with Bailey Smith, he can have a game where it's all handballs, a couple inefficient ones, and it just really drags down that scoring. But, I mean, I do like Bailey Smith. I think this is a good pick at a good price. Tom Mitchell, I'm not sold on. I think I had him in the like second one when it opened. I put him in, but then I started thinking about it. Tom Mitchell is getting up there in age now. He's not the focal point of Collingwood's midfield. He hasn't got a good ruck hitting it. Like, Cameron's a good ruck, but like Cameron's not a statistically, like, if I did see a stat last year, I should have wrote that down. Cameron was terrible at hit outs to advantage, so he's not getting ruck help, which, I mean, he didn't have that as much in Hawthorn either, but I mean, I don't know. I think Tom Mitchell just has to sell me a bit on him. Like, maybe in the preseason game he puts up like 35 touches, has a good score, and that's the other thing. He needs like 35 touches to put up a 110. I don't know, like, it's because it's all handballs, right? It's sideways handballs, backwards handballs, stuff like that. It isn't scored the best. It doesn't help in scaling and kind of like all the behind the scenes scoring bits and pieces. So yeah, Tom Mitchell currently not in. I could see him coming in. He's 530k. I could, move around a little bit, a couple of players and get him in. It's just, I'm not sold on him yet. And then we've got Hopper, who I think, again, this is a lot like McKenna, just at a fairly high price, basically double the price. I think he's just value at the price range. If he can, I should pull up his history, but I think he's got a history of like averaging high 80s, mid 90s type of game. Like Hopper was all right for a long time in GWS, and Richmond just kind of need solid midfielders, to be honest. Like, Shea Bolton wants to play forward. Dusty is good one game, not so good the next game, out the next 3 games. Granted, last year was the first year he actually had injury problems, so maybe I'm going too far on that, but yeah, it's just what it is. I don't mind Hopper. I think this is a reasonable risk for reasonable value, like a good risk for reward, let's say. Just going over some players here because I've got some notes on him. Sheed, obviously I said eye injury, I'd stay away from him. And he just hasn't been most durable the last couple of years. Elijah Hollins, I did hear something about him, but now it's escaped my mind. Bailey Williams, I've seen some people talk about. I feel, is there two Bailey Williams? There's like a defender one. The defender one was better. I can't remember now. Anyway, I wouldn't go for him either. Nat 5 is off the list. So with 5, right? You want him playing midfield. Anywhere else, and he's not that good, right? Like as a forward, he's not that punishing. So his accuracy isn't good as a forward. His marking ability isn't amazing. It's good. Like I've seen him take a couple of good screamers and stuff like that, but 5 isn't exactly like a marking threat in full forward in the the goal square and stuff like that. He's not overly tall. He's good. I'm not paying this much to have him in my midfield. Not happening. And even in the Freo match sim, he played mostly forward. Not in the match sim. In the press conference, they started talking to Longmuir. He's still the coach, yeah? Yeah, he is. He basically just confirmed he's playing mostly forward this year, which does lead to one of the rookies. You can see him here, M. Johnson. Apparently he's playing mid. He played it in the match sim. We'll see. If he's playing mid and he's taking 5 minutes, then 5's a dead pick and Johnson becomes a good rookie pick. I don't know how good he's going to score though. Let's be honest. Warple I have seen like a little bit of whispers about. I think he could actually have a pretty good year this year, like all things considered. No O'Meara, no Titch, no Ruckman. I mean, Ned Reeves is okay. I don't really like Ned Reeves, but whatever. Who's the other one? Lloyd Meek. Warple could do good. There was what was it, 2019 I want to say. He had a pretty good end to his year, a couple of tons in there. It was when Titch wasn't playing, whatever year that was. I think it was 2019, might have been 2020. No, 2020 was COVID. 2019 I believe. He's pretty good. And a good end to the year with a couple of tons. If he can do that again at 300k, probably pretty happy with that. He goes up in price, maybe hits the low 500 mark. Like I could see him just fitting in this section here, like with Shuey, DeGoey, Tim Kelly, who sucks, kind of in here. Jai Newcomb's another one I think could have a bit of a breakout year. Sam Berry, I thought he was good last year. Matt Crouch, surprised he's still playing, like at least playing for Adelaide. Yeah, I don't mind Warple too much, to be honest. Then a bunch of rookies here. So Ashcroft should play. They spent a lot on getting him in. Haven't actually heard too much from the Brisbane training. Like it was mostly like, Dunkley's looking good in the midfield. Marcus Adams is out, kind of thing. Like there wasn't too much there. Wardlaw, Actually, him I did hear a bit about. I didn't write it down, but I heard that he looks very good. Was it? It was him, right? Was it? Did they pick a guy? It started with S, like she's. Yeah, this guy was all right as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a rookies guy. I don't do that stuff. If you want that, I highly recommend going to like Dr. Supercoach. Supercoach with DR kind of talks about it a bit. He kind of brings people on that know stuff like that. I don't have the connections for that. Or just join the FTTV Discord. You'll find people in there that treat Supercoach like a second job. So they'll find the players for you. Josh Sin is out 5 to 7 weeks, but he's in line to replace Carl Amon. So Amon actually isn't too bad a scorer. It's kind of one of those under the radar picks. I saw him in the midfield and I was looking at yesterday. He averaged 92. So Obviously, a rookie's not going to average that, but if Sin can come in 7 weeks, let's just say later side, 7 weeks probably puts you at like round 2. No, we're in January. I keep forgetting we're in January. 7 weeks probably puts you in middle of March. Probably might miss the preseason game depending on like fitness levels. If you can average like say high 60s, maybe 70s, you're fine with that. Like you just chuck him on the bench, or you play him around because he's got forward DPP, which is pretty good. Wait and see. Blakely, I do have to do some research on. I just want to see if he's playing good, if he's good enough to start, or have to get rid of him. Finn McRae is injured. He's got to go, but I just haven't been bothered to find another rookie to chuck in for him. Finn McRae, I think this is like the end of him as well. Like, I don't see a career here now. Last year was probably like the best shot he's had, and he just didn't make a chance of it. So rucks haven't changed. Marshall, Cameron, I'm sticking with this. So with Marshall, right, first St Kilda training, he's playing around the ground. He kind of just looks like a prime ruckman here. Like, this is someone you really want to hop on. I'll just bring this up so I can have a look at other ruckmen. he looks very good, playing everywhere, taking marks, getting hit outs everywhere. Very good. And the way that was working right was they play him, say, 80-20, 90-10 ruckman with Jack Hayes, who you might remember from last year, put up like 2 or 3 good scores, and then I believe he tore his ACL or something like that, or broke his leg. Was that right? I can't remember. And Hayes was playing forward and kind of like making up the difference, so Marshall wouldn't get forced forward and play in the ruck. Second training camp, Josh Hayes is out 8 to 10 weeks minimum, meaning Marshall does have to play forward now, unless they have another ruckman on the list who I haven't seen yet, and I'm waiting for like maybe a third training session which might like be able to show a split in between. Wait and see on that. Honestly, I still like Marshall as a pick. I think even if he has to play forward, he's going to play majority ruck, and just that alone is going to keep his score good. If we just look at ruckman, right, Gawn's good, but now he's going to be splitting it with Grundy, Grundy can't go forward. Gawn can't go forward, but does. So I think Gawn's scoring is going to drop under 102. I feel like Wits I like, but I'm not a fan of the price. English I like, not a fan of the price. I'm not a fan of durability. Had some problems last year. And I feel like Dogs got it in a ruckman. Yeah, they did. They got Rory Lobb, who will probably go forward, leave English to ruck. But English wasn't a great ruck. He's very small, like frame small, not height small. Darcy I like, but he's going to be duo rucking with Luke Jackson, who Jackson's playing forward. It's 70-30 split coming from the coach. 70-30 is still good for Darcy, but those minutes where Darcy has to go up forward are not going to be good. I mean, that's what killed his scoring this year, right? So if you were someone who hopped on Darcy, you hated the times when he'd go forward. Meek would come in, Meek would ruck. Darcy is not a good forward. He just doesn't know where to stand. He doesn't know what to do, like anything like that. He's not trained as a forward. I don't expect him to be amazing at it. But yeah, like it's those minutes are going to kill you. But I think his scoring will go up a bit this year. I think, just a bit of a bounce back here. O'Brien, I'm a fan of, not at the price so much. And he's someone that's always like kind of okay. I don't think he's ever been amazing. Nui, not a chance. Blickarves, I don't mind. 537k. So you have to find 30k in the team. He plays all around. Like, this is a actual all around the ground player. He will line up in defense. He'll line up on the wing. He'll line up as a ruck. He'll line up as a forward. He can play everywhere. So I don't mind this pick. I don't know where I'm going to find 30k from, but I don't mind this. I mean, I'd have to find more than 30k because I'm not dropping Marshall. I'd probably drop Cameron, move him into the forward, something like that. Just because I think Cameron does have a lot of potential. Who else we got? Goldstein, no way. Nank, no way. Grundy, not a chance. Bruce, no way. McInerney, nah, he'd have to show a lot. Like, he'd have to show that he's a 105 plus Ruckman at a good price. Then we're down to Cameron. So Cameron was very good last year. I don't think this is like a shock or anything. He was very good last year. Hopefully it wasn't just a one-hit wonder season. Like, you know, just riding the wave of Collingwood being this super good team, especially late in games. Yeah, I could see him keeping it up. Play ruck. I don't know if they have another ruckman. At least one that's going to take time from him. Cox, I think at this point in his career, is a forward. Like, he's either forward or in the VFL. Like, and Aiden Begg, I think he played a couple of games. One of them was terrible. I didn't watch the other two. I saw the first game he played and it was like, oh, he's terrible. Cox, yeah, like I said, Cox is like a forward type of guy. So, I mean, he does play ruck, but like if they were to play together, it would be like 80-20 or something like that. Because you can't have him in there too long. He'd just get exposed. I don't know who the best loop is here. Freo, because of West Australia team, usually have the last game of the day. So like same with last game of the weekend. Same with the West Coast. Wait and see on that. Forward line, I don't think it's... I mean, it's had additions, but I don't think it's changed. Dunkley, no-brainer here. Have to start him. He is that guy. He is him. He can put up insane stat numbers. Like, he's a stat sheet stuffer. Go back to, again, I think this is 2019. It might have been 2018 for him. Insane numbers. Like, video game numbers. Got to start him. It has mid DPP, which, I mean, that's the other thing I'm not liking about my midfield is I like having someone, at least one person here that can go up forward, which is why I don't mind Bont. Because Bont's going to get forward DPP. Let's be honest. He's going to get it. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Pick Dunkley, set and forget. Probably like one of the only set and forgets this year, to be honest. Rosie. Very good last year. Hoping he just takes an extra step. So him and Butters were training in the midfield exclusively. Like, there was no, I trained with the forwards and the mids or something like that. This is exclusively midfield training. The only thing is, I can't see Butters playing full time inside mid. Like, he plays way too reckless. Head over the ball type of stuff, which is good, but like, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get concussed doing it. There was a game last year, I think it was against Hawthorn. I want to say Hawthorn, might have been Collingwood. He was concussed. Like, he should have been taken out of the game. He came back on. You could even see he was stumbling when he came back on. He was concussed. But they let him back on. Bit of a controversy. And in typical Port fashion, because they're not a Victorian team, it just fell out of the media. He... On here, only says he missed 2 games. But you watch these games and it's like, now he's got a shoulder injury. Now he's got a head injury. Now he's got a chest injury. Now he's hurt his knee. It's, yeah. Don't mind Butters, but like, I think Rosie is just built better for midfield playing. I think the Rosie as a forward experiment has kind of come to a close. He's so much better as a midfielder. Obviously, he's got to contend with a former Brownlow medalist, a former tied all-time vote getter, Ollie Wines, then Butters, then Boak, Who else is a Port mid nowadays? I know they lost Amon. Yeah, Wines, Boak, Butters, Rosie, Drew will go in there for a little bit. Could move up forward. Horn, Francis, they're not going to spend all that they spent on him just to have him as a forward that no one ever talks about. Rioli's a forward. He shouldn't even have mid DPP, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not the worst in the world, and I think they could just show that they're quality players and have to get that time. Taranto, I think he's kind of like the leading mid at Richmond now. Like, if you consider Dusty as like a forward player how can I explain it? A forward that comes down to the midfield. Taranto's probably the best mid they have, like pure midfielder. I know he plays forward, which was just a Leon Cameron masterclass in incompetency. But yeah, I don't mind this, to be honest. Like, I've never been huge on Taranto. I find his kicking ability is kind of suspect, but yeah, I mean, Presti is good. Presti's got premiership, so maybe it's say Presti is better, but Shay's gonna play mostly forward, right? Like, he wants to be in the goal square taking marks. It's what he wants to do. Dusty, or questions about does he actually want to play anymore? Like, he's done it all. He's 3-time premiership winner, won a Brownlow, Norm Smith, one of the best players ever. Like, is he the best? No. Is he one of? Yeah. Yeah, now I think about it, I really like the Taranto pick. I've been kind of on and off on it, but yeah, I do like it a lot. Then just going through a couple of guys here, make sure I haven't got some notes. Yeah, so Taron Thomas is playing halfback. If you've played in the last 2 to 3 years, North Melbourne halfbacks are just crazy scoring type of players. Look at Siebel, look at Aaron Hall, look at Siebel again, look at Aaron Hall again when he's not hurt. They keep kicking it to him, and then they're playing kick to kick in the backfield, which Supercoach kind of analytics hasn't caught up to penalize yet, I guess, because it's kicks and not handballs and marks and stuff like that, and it kind of negates the I guess negative of this kicking it uncontested. I think Aaron Hall set the record for the most uncontested touches in a game, or something like that, or most uncontested touches before having a contested touch. Yeah, I mean, if he's playing half back, you pick him. I've had bouts of thinking about bringing in Taron Thomas last year and the year before. Just thank God I didn't bring him in, because he sucked. So I feel like this, if he's a halfback, then this is a must pick. And in terms of comments on if he was good at halfback, all I've been able to find, I don't know if one person watched this game or something, it's only one comment is, looks good. That's it. Okay. Oscar Allen, surely he takes the spot of Jack Darling and plays kind of a switch ruck with Nanui. So go to the West Coast ruck type of gimmicks here. I want Bailey Smith out of this team. Not Bailey Smith, Bailey J. Williams. He sucks so much. He's so bad. Nanu is obviously going to be the main ruck. Bailey J. Williams, I want out of the team. Callum Jameson played a couple of games, was not very good. Didn't look good either. It wasn't just a Supercoach thing. Jack Williams must have got injured. And then Harley Barnett is a rookie. I haven't heard anything about him. Going on to the forwards, right? So I think I said Jack Darling replacement. I meant Josh Kennedy. Jamie Cripps, obviously no. Jack Darling's a forward. I guess I've seen Connor West play a couple of different places. Waterman forward, Liam Ryan forward. He's too small to play ruck, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he does. Oscar Allen, I think, is Ruckman. They did drop Hugh Dixon. I thought they did, but I couldn't, like, remember it. I thought it was just, like, me imagining it. But with only a couple of competent ruckmen on the roster, on the team, I think Big O, like, gets some time, honestly. I'd like to see it. I think before his injury, he was like the most promising player in the team. I think I said this last time as well. He's super promising. He's a good kick for someone his size, especially if he's a ruckman. Then he's a good kicking ruckman. Big body, kind of knows how to use it. He's still learning a little bit, but he looks very, very good. And then we're onto the rookies again. So the only one, Philippou, looked good in St Kilda training. In line for round 1 debut. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to play midfield though. I should have had a look at that. I mean, what do we got? St Kilda. Quick check. Brad Crouch midfield. Seb Ross midfield. Jade Gresham forward. Mackenzie, no idea. Never seen him. Billings wing / forward / mid / everywhere. Zach Jones not playing anymore. At least he shouldn't be playing anymore. He's kind of washed. Really washed now. Windhay's a tagger. One guy named Miller. Isn't he a defender? I want to say. Again, I don't really watch St Kilda. I think they're one of the most boring teams in the league to watch. And that's like, if you take offense to that as a St Kilda fan, please go watch your tapes back. They are so boring to watch. Apart from Steele and Sinclair. Tom Berry, I think, is going to play late at some point in the year. And then Corey Warner, who, not Chad Warner, but looks exactly like him. I should actually bring up a picture, but they look exactly alike. Same kind of gimmick here. Like, he's playing halfback, and he's a good rebounder of the ball. So, like, if they use him to kind of bring the ball out, I mean, they've got a lot of guys that can do that. The McCartan brothers are good for it. Like, Paddy's got a good kick. Lloyd likes to kick it around or hand pass it around, but he's still good at moving the ball forward. Blakey's good at attacking, but kind of plays like almost on the wing. They did bring in Aaron Francis, same type of thing. He likes to move it up forward very fast. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's a rookie. We'll see. But yeah, that's basically it. Just having a look if there's any other notes. I don't think I brought up Ben Cunnington. He's playing mostly forward, so I'd take him out if you were thinking about him. Marshall went on about. Jack Hayes out. Marcus Adams out. Corey Warner, like I said, he might be alright. Matt Johnson looks good. 5. You can't start 5 now. Like, you have to wait and see if he's any good, then bring him in. Jackson Darcy's a 70-30 ruck, with Jackson playing mostly forward. So, like, Luke Jackson came in from Melbourne, where he was playing the exact same role, where he was second ruck to Gawn and would have to play forward most of the time, to be in the exact same position in Freo now with Darcy. West Coast notes: Yo playing mid and halfback, looking accurate is like the comment I've seen about it. Jinby played well. Should debut round 1. Wait and see. I think he will be. I think that the team just needs youth. And then kind of like something I saw and I was a little bit like intrigued by. Jaden Hunt, the new recruit for West Coast, playing half back as well, and apparently he looked good as well. Kind of looked energetic in the backfield. He's good. Like, I haven't mind. I think I was on record last year saying like he was an underrated part of Melbourne. I do like Jaden Hunt. I was a big fan of the signing. We'll wait and see how it goes. I don't think that's obviously someone that you should rush to get in, but at 285k, that's not terrible, honestly. I wish he had another position. Hunter Clark as well. He's on here. He's good. When he's fit and firing, he's pretty good. But yeah, wait and see on those. Probably another video soon, talking about other preseason notes. Just really felt like talking about the changes I've made to the team and what's been going on around the world of footy. Not too much, still January. I think the game should open up. Today's the 18th. I think it'll open up. What's Monday? Is Monday 20? No, Monday's 23. It could open next Monday, I reckon. I don't mind next Monday, or maybe Friday. Friday's the 20th, perhaps. But anyway, that's about it for today. See you all next time. Tasty out.